more episode, and also it's like this last episode did not leave like there's nothing that makes you want to see the last episode. There's not even like a setup to a finale. Like, usually a lot of shows like Game of Thrones or House of Dragon, their second to last episode is really the finale, and then you have like a little kind of conclusion on the last episode. That's sort of like a wrap up to lead you into the next season. This does not do that. This has
So
no.
you mean like a cliffhanger or some shit?
Well, usually like there's like kind of like an end, like a big, like almost like think about Game of Thrones. Like let's say there's 10 episodes. The big battle is going to be on episode 9,
Like
and then
a
episode.
mid-season finale or something?
Well, no, it's like it's technically the finale, and then like the penultimate episode would be like 10, where it's like after you really have your big moment, you have a conclusion episode where it kind of like
Okay, it's
concludes
like
and then
the
sort of sets up
or
another season.
recap or some shit.
Yeah, I mean it's like even in writing like a movie or like writing a movie, you're gonna have your big final act, but that's not you. Like you're gonna have your big final moment, but that's usually what not ends the movie. Usually you have a little conclusion section to it, where you have a few scenes that sort of lead to the end. You're not gonna like have it right after the battle. It's not like the battle finishes and then you end it. No, you kind of have a little bit of a conclusion. This did nothing like that. I'll show you the trailer for this. I guess this is a fan. I'm not sure if this is a real trailer or if it's like someone's piecing something together. But here's what it is. I've been doing this because
Another comes. A Jedi.
They ride the travelers.
If a star whale approaches Peridia, destroy it with prejudice.
The Force isn't a weapon. You will never understand that.
The Force of Mortis' daughter is still with you. I've always believed in your potential. And now the entire galaxy sees what an incredible Jedi you've become.
yeah, there's a lot of fan-made shit in that. I just noticed a lot of fan-made shit in that. But nonetheless, so far it's I mean I was liking the show a little bit more until this till the last couple episodes. I feel like it's really just taken a dive. It's been pretty bad. I'm surprised that the audience rating on this stuff isn't as.
What is that's bad about it? Like what's suffering or making it worse?
I just feel like it's not like there's no stakes into anything. Like, my biggest complaint with it is that you just know everything's all right. There's never any real danger. They're gonna make it through it. They're gonna be like, like that kind of shit where, that the good guys are gonna win, and that you're not really gonna lose anyone along the way. I don't know. There's no peril. There's no conflict. That's kind of what you want in a story. You want to like kind of like not sure if the person's gonna make it. I mean, Game of Thrones was good at that. You didn't know if things were gonna go good, or even like then they'll have someone that you didn't think would get killed. That kind of thing. Even like the Jon Snow part. Like out of nowhere he gets killed in the last episode of I think it's season 5. I want to say it's season 5, but yeah, I'm looking at this. Elevated by a strong Rosario Dawson performance. I'm not seeing that. I don't know who's seeing that. I'm not seeing any strong performance.
He was only in for like 10 seconds in the beginning, right? Now this is more of her.
She was in this a little bit. I mean, I'll go through this. So this opens up with Hera, which is Elizabeth Winstead, who's kind of taking a real big backseat to the whole story.
She was backseat because everyone's obsessed with her ass and these big ass khaki.
Yeah, I mean, here you can see her ass here. It doesn't. I mean, to me, I'm not seeing anything that's. I'm not seeing anything that anyone's saying with that. I don't get it. I think they're looking. I just
think there's like so little to take away from the show. This is what anyone's focusing on, as far as like something being viral.
My initial thoughts is it's a chore to watch this show. It's like a chore. There's a strange. There's a strange cameo choice. You're seeing it in this photo here. Hayden Christensen makes an appearance, and he still looks the same. I mean, give this guy a fucking show. I'd rather watch him. Thrawn, he's just like a blue fatso. I noticed how like he's like a fat kind. He's got that COVID weight. There's never any real danger. I said that everyone's gonna make it, and then there's a funny contradiction in a fight scene that happens later on in the episode. I saw it and I was like, "What?" Like he just said this 2 seconds ago, and then does the exact opposite. Good, a big mark of a bad show. But it opens up with this council meeting with this Asian guy seems to get into every single fucking episode, by the way, of like every show. Um, there's like a council meeting where they're trying to court martial Hera, which is like I don't know why we would care as the audience. Who cares? And then C-3PO shows up, and is this the cameo that everyone wanted? C-3PO, and then like everyone's acting like he's like a big deal. That's like kind of like funny. I kept thinking like, why is he a big deal to everyone? What? Because did they watch Star Wars too? Did they see Star Wars? And I was just wondering. I guess Anthony Daniels is available to do some work. I guess that's the main thing. But because he shows up, Mon Mothma agrees to, not court martial. She agrees with the celebrity C-3PO. He's become quite the celebrity C-3PO, I guess, in this world. I don't know why. It's a fucking droid. He really should have like no attention to him. What did he do? What did C-3PO do in Star Wars, the original series? Like,
I don't know. He's just kind of like vaguely gay and complains.
yeah, that's why I don't see what. Like he comes into the court and everyone's like, "Oh, C-3PO's here." It's it's like, why would anyone give a shit?
What
He's
did
a
he
fucking
do?
droid.
It does
He
make
didn't
you
do
wonder
anything.
what positive, scenes or plot points did he have to contribute? Because I know R2 had a couple.
R2-D2 did, and he's also a fighter pilot droid. So it's like he did contribute. The only thing C-3PO does is have Han and Leia not get killed by the Ewoks because they were like ready to cannibalize them, and then I guess he kind of saves them. But that's really it. Like I was thinking, like, why would anyone think he's a big deal? Like, just because he's like a popular character? Like we've seen other 3CPO type droids in the background of these shows. It's like, who gives a shit? What did he do? I guess just that he's Luke's robot, but really wasn't. I don't know. It's a protocol droid, right? I thought that was his whole thing. But yeah, I didn't get that. I was like, I was laughing at that. I was like, people give a shit about C-3PO. Then there's a kind of a clip of was Anakin's kind of training. Ahsoka's doing some kind of training, and she's listening to like a video feed of Anakin telling her shit. So there was some slight Hayden Christensen appearance. That's probably gonna be the last. Maybe not. Yeah, it was kind of just her fighting. This was bad. This was bad.
Yeah, it sounds like you're worn out from watching.
Yeah, no, it's just not a fun thing to watch. I actually just finished watching for the second time the Grand.
How many more
Turismo
episodes
movie.
are left?
Just one more episode.
And
I'm ready for this to
like
end.
You're looking forward to the finale, or you just want it to end and be over with?
I just want it to end because there's no real like, there's nothing that happened in this episode that makes you want to watch the next episode. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I guess nothing, like they've kind of done for the rest of the season. But yeah, the whales reach the Thrawn planet, and Ahsoka's in the spaceship with the robot in the mouth, and then the whales are getting hit in this like landmine thing. So Ahsoka and her spaceship leaves. The space whales. Space whales are a big thing of this, big plot point of this whole show. I don't know if that was a smart idea either. I would have used the space whales sparingly. I don't mind like a creature that lives in space. I think it's kind of cool. I'm cool with that, but I wouldn't make it a big plot point. It's like what is it? That new Jordan Peele movie. Well, newer. It's not new now.
No, it reminds me more of sandworms and the sand things from Dune, and then
yeah, but you know how like Jordan Peele, he was treating UFOs like animals, which I thought was a kind of a cool concept.
Well,
I like that.
Stingray or something like a.
Yeah, and I think that's a cool concept. So that's why I don't mind like space whales. I don't mind animals that like these weird animals that dwell in space or
Yeah,
something.
the
So I think
movie's
it's kind of
okay. I
cool.
just wish like they got. I wish like he didn't bother with the chimp TV show stuff and just made it more about the environment and the alien and stuff. Like the whole backstory felt unnecessary and kind of off-putting to what was going on.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. But yeah. So the whales, she exits out of this mouth with the spaceship, and then she's in a debris field. I mean, nothing's gonna go wrong. There's some there's like a dog fight, typical Star Wars dog fight. She goes through the debris field, which is exactly like what Han Solo did in Empire Strikes Back. And then she hides in this spot, which is again exactly what Han did in Empire Strikes Back, where he hides in the crater. Turns out to be a big worm monster, which is cool. Yeah. I mean, all they
Yeah.
can go off of is like what they have. It's like they're so bankrupt on ideas. I know Red Letter Media's always said it.
The sad
It's
thing is, like,
really true.
there's probably people out there who can come up with interesting takes and different ways to do it. They just don't want to bother with that kind of shit because I guess they're worried or threatened that it might not be easy enough for the average moron to digest and handle.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think that's what's good about Star Trek is they had more of a world. Like the Star Wars world is really limited.
Yeah, the Star Trek movies never really did that well until the Chris Pine reboot shit.
But the Shatner ones did. Those ones did. Those movies did pretty well.
Well,
But
you
the
must mean financially, because critically, I don't think they did well.
critically Wrath of Khan is regarded really well. Critically.
That's the only one I can think of.
I'm actually I don't know about that. I think they're not like super. I think they're actually critically pretty liked, actually. Let's see Rotten Tomatoes rankings of them. I'm curious on that. I mean, the best one is definitely Wrath of Khan. Yeah, I'm seeing it. It's like Wrath of Khan's ranked high. Undiscovered Country is ranked high. That's in 1991. Actually, honestly, they're all pretty ranked high, except for the TNG movies, which they just. I get that. Those actors and that cast and the story they were telling doesn't really transfer to movies. I don't really get why they even tried that. It's like a very, I don't know. They're kind of a boring. Like they're just not cinematic. They're more TV stuff. Like they're more episodic than cinematic. I wouldn't say boring, but all right. So then Sabine's riding around with the turtles and Ezra, and Ezra's got these fucking blue eyes. By the way, he's got that. He's got the spice, man. He's sniffing some of that David Lynch coke.
So they're combining. Who's the guy taking the spice? The
Everybody.
Data guy?
What in Dune?
No, what you're talking about now. So the Data-looking guy is huffing spice.
No, this guy on the left here, this Middle Eastern looking guy.
Oh, who the fuck is that guy?
That's Ezra, who is in. Here he is. He's in the cartoon. And I don't remember him having like super blue eyes like this.
From what's the Cyborg movie? And the Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh yeah, he does look.
Oh, he's
he
a
like yeah. What's up, Mixixaplex?
He reminds me of that guy who plays the Atreides father in Dune.
Yeah, he does. Exactly, I agree with that.
But like
he does.
A shitty, uglier,
a little more
charismatic TV version.
A little more ethnic. Yeah, I mean, by the way, Generations has Tom Hardy in that one, and there's a scene in that Lord of the Rings ripped off. I don't know if they consciously ripped it off, but they did. There's a part where Tom Hardy gets stabbed, like he's obviously dying, and he pulls himself further on the blade, which is like in Fellowship of the Ring, where that orc, like he gets stabbed by Aragorn, and he kind of like pulls himself onto the blade to like scream in Aragorn's face. That happens in Star Trek Generations. So I always wondered if they ripped that off. I think they kind of had to. A good thing to rip off. But that was kind of a cool part for Tom Hardy. That's got to be like the earliest Tom Hardy role I could think of is Star Trek Generations. That's Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Nemesis. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Nemesis. That's 2002. Generations is the one with Shatner and Picard. That's where Shatner kind of comes into play. Yeah, that one's better than Nemesis. Nemesis was pretty bad, but I like that scene. It's like a bald-headed Tom Hardy. That's 2002. That's got to be his very early role for him. But yeah, you got this fucking spice motherfuckers sniffing on that David Lynch coke. And if you've seen Twin Peaks, you know that's some good coke. That's a fine cup of coffee right there. Um. Oh yeah, and yeah. So Sabine's running around with Ezra, and then these witches, which I talked about. I don't think I like witches in Star Trek or Star Wars. They
But we like
find
witches in general. It's just a weird mix.
I like witches, but I don't think I like witches in Star Wars.
You know, this is feeling like Star Wars converted into some Game of Thrones. Um,
Well, Dune's got witches, but Dune did it cool. I don't know.
this is
Dune did it really cool.
feeling like a more of a Game of Thrones Dune vibe than Star Wars ever
This
did.
is definitely trying to rip off those witches in Dune. Like, definitely these characters are the three sisters. Also, it's kind of funny. I guess it's might be a little bit of a Shakespeare reference to Macbeth with the three witches. It's got to be. It's got to be a little reference to that. There's the three witches in Macbeth. I think that might be one of the earlier literary like descriptions of witches too. That's like probably one of the first. Yeah, so that's got to be, and that's got to be what they're trying to go for a little bit too. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too smart for Star Wars, though. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think that deep. They probably didn't think that deep into it. I'm giving them credit. I'm giving them credit. Yeah. So his witches find Ahsoka, and she runs off. They find them with their hocus pocus powers. They called Bette Midler to get that going.
Bette
Ahsoka
Midler's
th-
in this shit.
No, she might as well. She might as well be this middle one. This might as well be the Sarah Jessica Parker. They should have just did a hocus pocus crossover right here. That probably would have been better. But yeah, they find Ahsoka, and she escapes from her hiding spot. You know, no scratches at all.
As you do.
She telecommunicates with Sabine because Sabine now has the Force way more than anyone else. So, and then the crabs and Sabine and Ezra are ambushed. The crabs, by the way, have these cool little like tanks. So I like that. I thought the design of those were cool. They're almost like a turtle shell that's like floating. That was kind of cool. I've no issue with the crabs. I like the crabs. I'm in full support of the crabs. And then they get ambushed by these bandits, and then Ezra, that little that blue-eyed fuck. I don't know what he is, Middle Eastern. Now I can't tell. He says he doesn't use like a lightsaber or blasters. He just kind of uses the Force, where he like pushes people around with Force and kind of like does some karate. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. I'm cool with that. All right. And then Ahsoka flies in because as soon as she telecommunicates, she knows instantly where they are. Goes right there, and then she jumps out to fight that older Jedi guy, and she fights him, like a fight ensues, and then she just runs away. That's basically how it ends. She's like, the guy says like, I can beat you, and she's like, you don't have to, and then she just runs away. That's basically what happens. And then she meets up with Sabine and Ezra. They get surrounded by stormtroopers, and Ahsoka comes in. She's wearing white, by the way, like Gandalf. That's a big thing in this. I see what they're trying to do. It's disgusting. And instantly, like a blaster kind of pops into Ezra's hands, and he uses it. He like 10 seconds before this, he says, "I don't use weapons or like sabers," and then he like a gun pops in his hands and just shoots and kills someone like right away. So it's like you just disregard everything you just set up. Like, very bad contradictions. Very stupid. And then for some reason, the troopers pull back because Thrawn says not to, and that's pretty much where it ends. The troopers run away. And that's kind of this episode. It's basically it, and that's what's gonna lead into your finale. Sorry, I was like thinking, like, I don't know.
Guess they're really trying to set stuff up instead of doing anything.
Yeah, and then there's this like reunion with Ahsoka and Ezra, and she like he says like Ahsoka to her, and they hug, and then I was thinking like, I was just waiting for Ahsoka to say like, "Ah, Ahsoka, that's what they used to call me." I wanted the Gandalf line completely. Like, just rip off the line completely. That's what they used to call me. I'm Gandalf the White now. I was expecting that. You see all the white outfits they're putting on her now? Because there was this rebirth scene where she got kind of killed, but not really. So I guess that's why they're saying there's a rebirth scene. I don't know. It's really bad. It's embarrassing.
It sounds exhausting to go
It's
through.
just not like, I don't know. It's just really bad storytelling. It's just like, I mean, I feel bad for anyone who wants to like Star Wars these days because there's not a lot to like. You know, there's not a lot to like. Overall, I hated this episode. The C3PO thing was just confusing. Like, I guess C3PO is a celebrity in this world for no reason. I mean, she's a fucking droid. Remember, like in the beginning of New Hope, they weren't even allowed to go into a bar. They were like, no fucking droids in here. Like, and now everyone's like celebrating C3PO. Like, I was kind of hoping they just, keep that no droids allowed policy. I'm fine with that. Yeah, Ahsoka the White. I kept thinking of her as Ahsoka the White. This Gandalf thing. It's fucking stupid. And I was thinking like, this is the setup to like a final episode. This is what you're gonna like. This is what you want people to like come and go see the end of from this episode. Jeez, there's been nothing good in this. I'd give this like a 2 out of 10. I originally said that this show. I kept saying to you like the show is like a 6.5 out of 10, like where it's like borderline, probably worth watching. Now I would kind of drop this down to like, I don't know, like a 4 out of 10. That's where I'd kind of put this
Wait,
overall.
what did it start at?
I mean, for a little bit, it was like watchable. I'd say it was like a 6.5 out of 10, like where it's like it's watchable. It's above.
That's like almost a C.
Yeah, but that's where I would say I think it's like a solid D. I'd say a solid D is still like worth. It's like if you want to watch it, it's like go watch it. Anything under, I'd say like yeah, probably just don't watch it. This now I'm gonna say like yeah, just don't watch it. I'd give this a 4 out of 10. I'd give it a 40%. So yeah, I'd give it an F. It's pretty bad. And yeah, Ahsoka the White. Here, you got her showing up here looking like Gandalf, but not acting like Gandalf or anything good. It's embarrassing to even say that like Gandalf is your inspiration for this character. What? Like, why? Stupid. And it's a very flat character. I mean, I don't think Rosario Dawson is bad. I don't think some of the actors they have in this are bad. I just don't think they're giving him anything to work with, and that's sad. You want to have. I mean, I think she's a good, fun, bubbly type actress. I would want to give her something accordingly, and that's kind of what the cartoon was. The cartoon was all about that. So I don't get it.